the connection itself, I think, it's really kind of ineffable. It's really complex in a lot of ways. When you have just such a singular, specific goal that can only be achieved by a group of people, this group of people, something weird happens, and there's like this hive mind thing that kind of comes out of it. A lot of like camaraderie comes out of the downtime and just being bored together too. So like, I'm sure some of the other guys said this, or you've heard this before, but like the majority of the war experience is like 99% mind-numbing, excruciating boredom. With like 1% of like, oh shit. And then, but the rest of it is just really boring. And so just being bored with that group of people, that you have an easy connection into this sort of like hive mind thing, produces like really strong connections. And a lot of it's just like joking around and things that you can joke around with within that group and about each other and razzing each other and stuff like that you can't do with anyone else. I mean, that's some of the stuff that I miss the most. Like people who have come from all different backgrounds, have a shared common experience with a shared objective, can joke about things that no one else has any awareness of. And it's not that it's unattainable or they wouldn't understand it. They just don't have the experience, so they just wouldn't get it. Yeah, I hopefully don't take offense to this, but like I've always said that the military is like the gayest thing you could do without being like full on gay. Is that in the military, it's, for me as an infantry unit, it was all men, and it was very emotional, and we were the only people there for each other, and we talked to each other about literally everything. So it was like the pinnacle of a male-only emotional support system. And that is something that I've not experienced since, at all. Even in like sporting events or sporting clubs or whatever. I mean, it's just not the same. I don't know, there's just too many blockages out here in the real world. Combat specifically is such a unique experience. It's such a heightened human experience. First of all, if someone was misgendered in a combat situation, I don't think anyone would give a fuck, right? I mean, like, everyone's name in combat just gets reduced to fuckhead anyways. Fuckhead over here. So where the fuck is Alpha Team? This stuff. So your name is fuck, your gender is fuck, everything is, when you get into a more heightened situation where life or death, and not just for yourself, but many other people are on the line, all that stuff goes away, and it just becomes a lot more like those really important things, like, are you going to do your job? Fuckhead.